Love has a way of circling back when we least expect it, sometimes reigniting feelings we thought were buried in the past. It could be someone from childhood, a person who knew us before we became who we are today. Those relationships are often rooted in innocence, trust, and shared memories that never truly fade away. Today we have a letter from one of our loyal listeners, Mary, whose story reflects just that. Mary's letter is a beautiful and poignant reminder of how powerful our past connections can be. She's recently crossed paths with her childhood best friend, someone she's quietly loved for as long as she can remember. But life has changed since their early days together. He's now a busy engineer, recently divorced, and focused on his career. Their reconnection has stirred emotions that have left Mary wondering what to do next. Have you ever felt this way too? Maybe you've reconnected with someone from your past, someone who knew you when life was simpler. Have you found yourself questioning whether the feelings you had back then are still real, or if it's just nostalgia playing tricks on your heart? If you've ever experienced this or even dreamed about it, I'd love to hear your stories. But for now, let's turn to Mary's letter and explore her journey together. Dear Ms.HearMe, I hope this letter finds you well. I've been a dedicated listener of your show for years, finding comfort and wisdom in the stories you share and the advice you offer. Today, I'm reaching out with my own story, hoping you can help me navigate these complicated emotions I'm experiencing. I want to tell you about my childhood best friend, who has been a part of my life for as long as I can remember. We grew up in the same neighborhood and were inseparable throughout our formative years. From playing in the park to sharing our dreams and fears, we were always there for each other. There's one memory that stands out vividly in my mind: our annual summer adventures. We'd bike to the old willow tree by the lake, sit under its shade, and dream up fantastical stories. Those afternoons were magical, just the two of us, lost in our imaginations, with the sun casting dappled patterns on the grass. Another unforgettable memory is the time we spent building a treehouse together. It was our secret hideaway, where we shared our hopes and whispered our fears. I remember one night we stayed up late, huddled in sleeping bags, gazing at the stars and talking about our future. He had a way of making everything seem possible, and in those moments, I felt like anything could happen. As we grew older, my feelings for him began to change. I started to realize that my affection for him had grown into something deeper than just friendship. But I was terrified of ruining what we had, so I kept my feelings to myself. I remember the day he told me he was leaving for college. We spent the day at our favorite coffee shop, reminiscing about the good times and making promises to stay in touch. It was the hardest goodbye I had ever faced, and as I watched him drive away, I couldn't help but wonder if I had missed my chance to tell him how I felt. Life took us in different directions after high school. He went off to college far away, and we lost touch over the years. I heard through mutual friends that he had gotten married, and while it stung a bit, I tried to move on with my life. I focused on my career and other relationships, but in the back of my mind, he was always there, a constant, comforting presence in my memories. Then, a few months ago, fate intervened. We ran into each other at a mutual friend's party. It had been years since we last saw each other, and the initial shock of our encounter was overwhelming. Despite the time apart, it felt like no time had passed at all. We talked as if we had seen each other just yesterday, reminiscing about old times and catching up on what we had missed in each other's lives. He looked very much like I remembered, but with the added marks of time. His deep-set blue eyes, which always had a sparkle of mischief and kindness, seemed to carry a hint of melancholy now. His dark brown hair, once tousled and carefree, was more neatly styled, with some gray streaks at the temples that hinted at the passage of time. He had a strong jawline, which was now slightly softened, and his smile, though less frequent, still had the same warmth that used to light up our days together. I could see the lines around his eyes and mouth that spoke of the challenges and experiences he had endured. During our conversation, we exchanged Facebook and Instagram handles, which felt like a small but significant step. We've since been reconnecting through social media, sharing snippets of our lives and catching up on the past years. It's been wonderful to see glimpses of his daily life and to share updates about mine. He also mentioned that he had recently gone through a divorce and was now single. He didn't go into much detail, but it was clear that it had been a challenging time for him. My heart ached for him, and as I listened, I couldn't help but wonder if this might be a sign that we were meant to reconnect. Since that party, I find myself thinking about him constantly. The feelings I had for him all those years ago have resurfaced with a new intensity. I'm torn between wanting to confess my feelings and risk potentially ruining our renewed friendship, or keeping my emotions to myself and appreciating the fact that we've reconnected. I don't want to lose him again, but I also don't want to miss out on what could be a meaningful relationship. I'm reaching out to you because I'm unsure of what to do next. Should I take the leap and share my feelings with him, or should I cherish our renewed friendship as it is? I don't want to jeopardize what we have now, but I also don't want to miss out on what could be a meaningful relationship. Thank you for taking the time to read my letter. I look forward to your advice. Sincerely, Mary. Thank you, Mary, for opening up and sharing such a deeply personal part of your life with us. Your story is incredibly moving, and it highlights the profound and often complex emotions that come with reconnecting with someone from our past. Reconnecting with a childhood best friend, especially someone with whom you've had such a significant emotional connection, can be both exhilarating and daunting. It's clear that your feelings for him have remained strong over the years, and this recent encounter has brought those emotions rushing back to the forefront. Your memories of the treehouse and the magical summer afternoons under the willow tree paint a beautiful picture of the bond you shared. Those moments are precious and formative, and it's no wonder they've stayed with you. Now that you've reconnected and have started exchanging updates through social media, it's natural to feel both hopeful and anxious about what comes next. Social media can be a double-edged sword in situations like these. It's wonderful to get glimpses into each other's lives again, but it can also add pressure and make you question your next steps. Given that he's recently gone through a divorce, it's understandable that you might feel both sympathy and curiosity about how he's coping. This period of his life might be a time of significant emotional upheaval, and it's essential to approach the situation with sensitivity. It's a delicate balance to maintain, being supportive and understanding while also considering your own feelings and desires. When deciding whether to share your feelings with him, consider how he's responding to your interactions. Is he showing signs of interest in reconnecting on a deeper level? Or is he more focused on rebuilding his life post-divorce? Pay attention to the nature of your conversations and whether there's a natural progression in your interactions. Reflect on what you hope to achieve by expressing your feelings. Are you seeking closure, or do you genuinely believe there's a possibility for a future together? Be honest with yourself about your intentions and whether you're prepared for any outcome. Choose a moment when you can have an open and honest conversation. Ensure it's a time when you can both be emotionally present and clear-headed. A heartfelt conversation can sometimes lead to a more profound connection, whether or not it results in a romantic relationship. Be prepared for any reaction, whether positive or negative. Releasing your feelings may bring you clarity, but it might also lead to an awkward phase in your renewed friendship. Consider how you will handle different scenarios and ensure that you're ready to navigate them gracefully. Whatever path you choose, it's important to be true to yourself and to honor the connection you've shared with him. Relationships, whether they turn into romantic ones or remain as cherished friendships, are valuable parts of our lives. To everyone listening, Mary's story is a reminder of how deeply our past relationships can affect us, even years later. If you've experienced something similar, reconnecting with someone from your past and grappling with old feelings, your experiences might offer valuable insights and support for Mary and others in similar situations. Please share your stories or thoughts in the comments. If you have a story you want to share, or if there's something on your heart that you'd like to be featured here, I'd love to hear from you. Your voice matters, and this is a space where you can be heard. You can email me directly, and we'll work together to bring your story to life when you're ready. I truly appreciate every one of you for being part of this incredible community. If Mary's story touched you, or if you found value in what we share here, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to our channel. Your support helps us continue to create a space where every voice is valued and every story is heard. Thank you for tuning in, and I look forward to connecting with you again soon.